your girl has been MIA a little bit, just a little bit, not a lot of it, but a little bit. And I just want to know what's going on. How are you guys? How are we doing? Y'all good? I know you guys are like, oh, E, you have no hair. I don't have any hair. It was actually shorter than that, but I let it grow out a little bit, but I'm probably gonna cut it again. You know. First things first. Empowered women empower women. I love this shirt. I actually am a brand ambassador for her team. You guys, I'm gonna leave the link or the Insta handle right here and use my discount code for 30% off. I said 30% off. And my discount is Elanye, okay? So 30% off, okay? Okay, and I love that it is a brand that just is all about women empowerment and just the future is female, but the now is also female. Thank you, butter. Y'all, happy Father's Day. Happy Father's Day. I kind of talked about probably a couple of videos ago that I'm gonna talk about my process with grief. Some of the things that I've learned through my grief process. A lot of you know I lost my father on Christmas. And this grief journey is it's hard. And I don't think I realized how hard it was gonna be. And I only say that because my dad was on hospice for 6 months. So we kind of knew that this time was coming, and we kind of knew that, you know, he was gonna pass away soon, whatnot. But I just didn't, I feel like even though you prepare for it, you're never really ready for it. And it's just crazy. Even when I came home for Christmas, I didn't even get to see him before he passed away because I was making sure that everything was good for him. And through this grief process, it kind of took, I think that's something that I really struggled with, was the idea that he was waiting for me and I never got to see him. Y'all, grief is just, it's such a journey, and you have your good days and you have your bad days, but there's a couple things that I realized. So I know I haven't been as active on my YouTube channel, but it was just because I felt like nothing I was putting out was good enough, right? Like I felt like I had all these ideas, but they just weren't good enough, and I just didn't want to even put out content just to put out content. I wanted to put out content that I was like, oh, I love this, and I'm proud of this, and I'm just so happy that I'm doing this. And I didn't feel like that for the past few months. I was in a pretty bad, dark space, like mentally, physically. Grief has a really weird way of bringing up insecurities about yourself, right? Like, I think this is, you know, me spitting off the dome, but I think it's because when you're down, you know, you're down. So it's easy for all these thoughts to kind of get in your head while you're down, right? And it's easy for you to listen to these thoughts while you're down because you're down. I really struggled with feeling like I'm not enough. I really struggled with feeling like I'm not enough in school, feeling like I'm not enough in work, feeling like I'm not enough with YouTube, feeling like I'm not enough in like every other aspect of my life. Like I really struggled with that. And I talked to my therapist, Dolores. I love me some Dolores, okay? And we just broke it down, and it was just such a bomb going off for me in my head. I don't want to say a bomb, but it kind of was. But it was just, I had like a huge epiphany of like why I felt like I wasn't good enough, and why I was listening to the fact that my mind was telling me that I wasn't good enough. But even when I was feeling like I wasn't good enough, my therapist brought to light the things that I was still accomplishing while I was feeling like I'm not good enough, y'all. And something that she said to me was, broken crayons still color, okay? And that kind of got me. And something also I realized is, if you can't change the situation, change your perspective. So I feel like a lot of my perspective has kind of changed. I feel like, you know, before it was really hard because I was like, man, I didn't even get to see my dad and he was waiting for me, and I missed him by that much because on Christmas morning we went to go see him and he wasn't with us anymore. And before it was kind of like he was waiting for me, but now my perspective is, you know, he was waiting for me. Like, he was waiting for us because he knew that we would come. You know, he knew that, like, I'm gonna open my eyes and I'm gonna see my kids. Like, he knew that. And he went to sleep knowing that his kids will be there for him. And he went to sleep knowing that, I promised myself I wasn't gonna cry, so I'm not gonna cry. He went to sleep knowing that when I open my eyes, I'm gonna see the people that I love. So that kind of made me a little bit more, I don't know, it just kind of let me let him rest, if that makes sense. And that's also something that my aunt said when he passed away, was let him rest. And like, I don't know why let him rest just like makes me feel better, but like, I don't know, it's just comforting. Like, let him rest, he's finally resting, let him rest. And like, I don't know, like, I know he's resting now, and when he wakes up, like, he'll see his kids. So that is something that my perspective, that's something that I learned through changing my perspective. Something else that I learned, y'all, was people, how do I say this? People tend to show you grief how they would want to grieve, like, or how they grieve, if that makes sense. So for instance, a lot of people gave me space during my grieving process, and I hate space. If you know me, you know I'm all up in your space. I'm like all up in your face. Like, I don't do well with space. So when somebody, like, when I'm like, when one of my friends is going through the grief process, I'm always like, hey, what's going on? Checking in, like, how are we doing? Blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm kind of annoying, right? But a lot of my friends gave me space. And I think also, like, a lot of my friends gave me space because, you know, they would have wanted space, but also they didn't know what to do. It's okay to say what you need during this grief process. A lot of people ask me, what can I do? What can I do? I don't like that question because, you know, at the same, like, sometimes it's like a physical thing, like, oh, well, I need food, oh, well, I need this, but like, I like the question of like, how can I be there for you? Because it's more emotional, like, it's more mental. But I felt like it was really hard for me to deal with space because, you know, your girl has abandonment issues, okay? So, you know, like, it was crazy because at some point I was feeling like abandoned in my grief. But at the same time, like, these people didn't know that I was feeling like this because I never told them. So it's completely okay to tell them. And like, for friends who are trying to be there for someone, it's completely okay to ask how you can be there for them. Like, I feel like a lot of things can get misguided and all you need to do is just communicate. No? Yeah, that's how I feel. I'm a mess, y'all. What else have I learned? I learned that your journey is your journey. Don't compare yourself to other people's journeys, because everyone is going through something, right? Like everyone is going through something, and you just never know what somebody's going through. You never know. You just never know. Like, and it's crazy because I remember when I was opening up to my friends about how I was feeling like the past couple months, they were like, what? Like, we had no idea. And I'm like, yeah, because I never told you. And I remember I was talking to Dolores. And I was like, you know, I just feel like, you know, I feel like, I don't know, I know they're not, my friends aren't like purposely trying to like leave me alone, but like, you know, I need somebody, I need to talk. And she was like, E, it's completely fine to need to talk, but also like, mama, you have to tell them what you need, because otherwise, as much as I love my friends, you know, nobody's a mind reader. You have to say what you need. You just have to communicate. And I was like, okay, I can do that. And so then I started communicating that, and then like, I just love how supportive, like throughout everything, my friends have been phenomenal and supportive, but they just have been tending to what I genuinely need, and I just appreciate that. Something that I also learned was grief is just love persevering. And you know how hard it is, or how emotional this roller coaster is. It's okay to feel your feelings. I hate being sad, and I remember I told my therapist that, like, I hate being sad. Nobody likes to be sad, but my feelings are valid. My sadness is valid. Your sadness is valid. So feel what you're feeling, and then we press on, you know? I don't know. I feel like that's kind of what I wanted to portray on Father's Day. Do I have anything else I want to say? No, but happy Father's Day to all those phenomenal fathers out there. Happy Father's Day to, you know, all the fathers that we lost. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers that we still have. And happy Father's Day to those who are just becoming fathers. We love you, we appreciate you, and yeah. So y'all just bear with me. I know your girl hasn't been too consistent, and I apologize. I really do, but I don't know. I just didn't feel like I was putting out anything that was great. So I need to learn to, I'm learning to be nicer to myself, because I'm learning to extend myself the same grace that I extend other people. So I'm gonna put out some videos. I just don't know if I'll put them out for summer or if I'll put them out in the fall. We'll see. But thank you guys for rocking with me. Thank you guys for watching this. If you're going through the grief process, we're in this together. If you're not going through the grief process, we're still in this together. Be nice to yourself, be nice to other people. Love you. Bye.